Hello, Sadie Street Singers 2022-2023. Welcome to The Journey. This is Mr. Ely, and I'm really excited to have you on board for this year's show choir. We are in an awesome situation this year in that we had so many people interested in wanting to be a part of our group. And certainly, with that comes some responsibility on everybody's part to know that you are here for a reason, for your ability through your audition to be able to contribute early and often. And with that becomes also expectations that this will be a year to remember for many reasons. And I'm just really excited to get started with all of you. I won't take too much of your time today, but I would like to try to be as thorough as possible. So on we go. Again, my name is Mr. Ely. I teach at the high school here. My intention today is simply just to go over a few sort of groundings, why we do show choir and how we do show choir here at Anamosa, to talk about my expectations of the singers and of parents and supporters of our group, and also to share some dates with you, some very important dates that we want to make certain everybody has on their calendars early, so that we don't run into some unfortunate situations later on. Alrighty, and then lastly, just getting everybody signed up for Remind, which is a texting or messaging service most of you are familiar with, but we want to make sure everybody's signed up with that here as the summer gets started. This is probably the most important part of the presentation, not so much the folks in this picture, but just the the idea that family always comes first. I'll never question you if you have a family conflict that comes up with show choir. I would just simply ask, and you'll hear me say this many times throughout the presentation, to keep me in the loop of what's going on. But family always comes first, and so this is my family, my wife Jen, who is an Anamosa High School graduate, and then my daughter Madeline, which is behind my wife. She will be a sophomore at Linn-Mar High School this fall, and my daughter Lydia, who's behind me, she will be an 8th grader at Excelsior Middle School in the Linn-Mar district this fall. I love them a lot. They are everything, and that's what it's all about. Family's everything. So please keep that in mind. We'll talk about being competitive, and we'll talk about being at rehearsals, but family always comes first. So why do we do show choir? Why is it important? Value does it bring to everybody who's involved? Excuse me. Really, the three things that are on this list are just skills that I think every young person needs to be able to display and put into place. We are a team, and there is no bench on our team. Everyone's a starter. When a person is gone or not at their best or perhaps falling behind, it hurts our team and it affects our team. We know that your attention is pulled in lots of different directions. When it is time to be dedicated to show choir, we expect you to be dedicated. We expect you to follow through with what you said you were going to do. And you are all watching this because you have said you were going to be in show choir. And so it certainly would hold that we want you all to follow through and finish this year strong from beginning to end, giving your best effort. We also really align with our 21st century skills, which we discuss a lot in our advisory classrooms here during the school year, and we can get into a little bit more of that as we go along. So I really operate on kind of three big things. The first is when you're present, be present. I mentioned just a little bit ago that you're pulled in lots of different directions, and I believe that in my heart. You are all invested in lots of different things, and I would never expect show choir to be all you do and all you think about and all that you want to do. With that being said, when you're with me and with the rest of the team, you need to be here. Mentally, physically, with your attitude. Those are that's sometimes a difficult task when it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night on a Monday, and you've already been at school for 12 or 13 hours. Trust me, I understand and I empathize with that amount of time in one day. But that is really what what will work as far as us being able to rehearse. So I simply would just ask you that when you are here, be here. I don't think that's terribly difficult for the majority of you, but I do know that there are times when you're going to struggle, and that's okay. Just give us your best. Be present and be with us so that we can continue to advance as a group. The second biggest tenet that I have, the thing that I think believe in most, is that I need everyone to communicate with me clearly and efficiently. I don't like conflict. I don't know many people that enjoy conflict. And there won't be any conflicts when I am able to predict and know who's going to be at every rehearsal. I know that there will be issues where some people may have to leave. I know that there are games in the fall and in the winter, and I know that there are other events that will compete for your time. Simply put, if I can get you to communicate with me early about these events, then we can plan ahead and have the best plan in place for everybody involved. Additionally, the thing that probably would irritate me the most is a message or an email 15 minutes before a rehearsal that says somebody can't come. I have no other option but to be skeptical about something like that. Obviously, there are emergencies that occur, and that's not really what I'm talking about. It's the lack of planning to communicate with me so that we can make accommodations for the rehearsal. Simply put, please communicate. There are enough ways that I will provide you to get a hold of me that there really should be no excuse for anyone to not communicate what's happening. And then the last thing I think that's really important is just be prepared for productive struggle. When we are comfortable, we aren't being challenged. Typically, if we're being challenged, we might feel a little uncomfortable. We might even become frustrated. But like any team, if frustration boils over, if we don't voice our frustrations, if we don't talk things out, if we don't bring things up, it's very likely that will boil over and become a larger issue than what might have frustrated one to begin with. I want to be a resource for all of you to discuss what's going on. I want to know if we need to have a larger sit down and if there's an issue happening amongst the group, or even if it has nothing to do with the group and somebody's just struggling with something, please just tell me about it. Let me see if there's something I can do to help, or someone else I can get you in touch with that might help your situation out. The number one thing that I care about is you and your well-being. When you are well, our group will be well. And that is probably, again, the most important thing I could possibly think of. So I will leave this slide up for just a bit, and obviously you could also pause this presentation if you needed to. But these are some really important expectations, and it kind of outlines a little bit of what I just said, and then includes 3 very important dates that are going to be coming up in August. Those 3 dates, as you can see, are going to be days when we have our choreographer here to teach us a number. So we'll learn one full song each time he's here. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our situation, our choreographer lives in California, and so he works with us and a couple of other schools in the Cedar Rapids area. So when he comes and spends a decent amount of time in Eastern Iowa. And his time is very valuable. We pay him well to create an entertaining and energetic show, and it is extraordinarily challenging for any student, regardless of their ability level, to try to learn choreography on their own, and when they are not, if they've been absent. It's one thing to practice something you already know, but to learn something that's brand new is best done in person. So please clear your calendars for Friday, August 12th from 2:30 to 8:30 p.m., Saturday, August 20th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, August 21st from 12 to 5:30 p.m. I'll have more specific details on those about those days and evenings with regards to meal breaks and what to bring and all of those other things. Right now, get them on your calendars. I've already reached out to coaches and They are aware that this will be occurring. They understand the situation with the choreographer, and they know that this is a time that we're going to need you. Our rehearsals are every Monday night from 6 to 9 p.m. And at the end of this presentation, in a separate communication, I will have a full calendar of the year for all of you. But we rehearse every Monday night unless indicated on that calendar. We rehearse from 6 to 9 p.m. If you're coming from another practice or some other rehearsal, I have no issues with you taking a reasonable amount of time to get something to eat, to shower, to clean up, etc. Again, that's where that communication comes in. A quick message, hey, Mr. Ely, we just got out of practice a little late. I'm going to run home and clean up, and I should be there in 20 minutes. I love those types of communications because that lets me know you've placed this as at a level of importance. Okay. The last 4 bullets are just, I think they're just sort of obvious things, but I think are worth being stated. We want your best effort at all times. If you're not 100%, give us 100% of what you've got. We want you to be at all competitions and all performances. We know that in some cases, like state wrestling or perhaps a speech thing, you might either be traveling separate to get to the competition, or maybe the conflicts just can't be moved around, and we might have to discuss some options. But again, that goes back to that communication piece. Please ask questions. I don't mind answering questions, so long as you've made every effort to try to answer them on your own. If I don't communicate well, then there's no way that you'll know what's going on. However, if you take the effort to review communications or review messages or email, it is likely you'll find the information you're looking for. And then again, if I've been unclear, then it's my responsibility to be clear. And then the last bullet, which I think is really important for everybody to let sink in a little bit. Every one of you is going to be asked and depended upon to be a leader at some point this year, in some capacity. And you'll all have to follow as well. There are going to be times when you aren't going to be the leader, when you aren't being asked to step up and take over. And you have to be able to know the situation and know when it's time to lead and when it is time to follow. If you're new to the group this year, you'll be asked to lead. And if you're a senior and have been in here in this group, and this will be your 4th year, you are going to be asked to follow. So please understand that we are all hopefully in this for the right reasons, which is to be the best group we can possibly be, to be competitive at competitions, and give ourselves as many performing opportunities, as we possibly can. Parents, I only have 5 expectations for you, so you get off the hook awfully easy here. And obviously, the first one, support your child. They're going to come home tired some Monday nights, and they're going to come home maybe frustrated or upset or just, holy cow, this is a lot. Keep supporting them. They can do it. I know they can. I've seen all of them perform or audition. I know what your children are capable. You know what your children are capable of doing. Just continue to support your child. Push your child to excel. I think, high expectations are going to come from me, and high expectations should be coming from every side of things. Model clear communication skills. Obviously, you are your child's best advocate, but when they see you communicating well and efficiently and effectively, they will learn how to communicate with their peers, with their director, and with those outside of our group as well. Snacks and other goodies are always great. There are going to be a few opportunities where I may ask for some things either on those choreography days or just in general. We may need some pick-me-ups, if you will, and those are always really helpful things. The last one in red, I can't overstate this enough. We need everybody who has a child involved in Sadie Street Singers to volunteer at our showcase on Saturday, January 28th. The event is a big fundraising event for our booster organization. It's the largest fundraising event of the year for the booster organization. And it would be expected that with your child participating, that you will help in some fashion. There will be lots of information that will come out about the showcase later in the school year. But for now, January 28th, 2023. That's our showcase date. Please plan on volunteering. The next slide just gives all of our performances. So these are all of the dates when Sadie Street will be performing. We have an open dress rehearsal. This is open to anyone who is in the community who would like to come up and watch us, and that's on Monday, January 16th. Then we start our competition season. You can see, obviously, Saturday, January 28th is the day of our showcase, and then the final opportunities for us to perform and compete there on those weekend days. Typically, those days are, they'll get a call time in the morning. We hop on a bus. We get to our location. We perform. The hope is that we get a second performance, because that will say that we were one of the top 6 schools that performed during the day. And if that is the case, then our return home is usually pretty late at night. If we do not make finals, then our return home is usually like 9 to 10 p.m., depending upon where we're at. We will certainly let you know what our status is through our messaging system and other means, but those are the performance and competition dates. Please have those in your calendars as soon as possible. And then again, along that communication line, if there is a conflict, as soon as you notice that conflict, please let me know so that we can hop on a phone call or on a text message string and figure out a solution for that conflict. Alrighty. Last slide are the modes of communication. This is the first one is if you were to just copy that website and put it in your browser, that will take you to Remind, which is a messaging system. I usually blast out messages. Many of you have used these before. Obviously, if you're returning, you know how it works. If you're new to show choir at Anamosa, it's a great way. It's an app that you can download. You can search the class through the app as well. I'm almost certain that every one of you has heard of it. If you haven't, please just email me, and I can help you to get signed up as easily as possible. You will get email from me in one of two ways. One would be directly from my Google account here at school, which is the A. Ely at Anamosa. Then there will also be a lot of opportunities where you'll get an email from me that kind of comes from Infinite Campus. And they do say do not reply in there, but you can reply to those email. If you reply just to me, then I get the email. Obviously, reply all goes to everybody. So just be thoughtful about that as you get ready to reply. But I do communicate through email a lot. And so students particularly aren't as adept at checking email regularly. So just please keep an eye out for some of those things. I did not put this on the slide, but I do have a Google Classroom page for show choir, and I will post information that's primarily for students, but parents who can connect into their children's classroom pages may find some information there as well. And then sort of the old-fashioned way to communicate here by phone, my office phone and my cell phone. I have no problems if folks have my cell phone or need to get a hold of me on my personal cell phone. Just use that sparingly, please, as it is my own personal phone. I can't tell you, again, how excited I am that this season is just about ready to kick off. What a great group of young men and women that we have coming in, and our group is larger than it has been in some time, and I think that the talent level of everybody in the group just has a different feel with regards to our abilities early on here, but that does not guarantee us a thing. And so the last message I would send to everybody is the hard work can begin now. Keeping one's self in shape this summer, taking a look at some of the resources that I'll be posting on Classroom to make yourself familiar with the way things sound, the tempos, the speeds, the styles of the music. There is sheet music that will be posted, and so those that have perhaps a curiosity and ability to start learning some music ahead of time can certainly start learning music casually on their own. And then again, getting ready for those dates in August when our choreographer Damon Brown will be here to start teaching. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. And again, thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. Have a wonderful rest of your day.